always got these stories that you just can't imagine actually take place. But this one in particular, a teacher seeking dating advice from fourth graders. I know that's where I get all my dating advice. Of course, I don't date, but well, I guess you could say I date. I mean, I do have date nights with my husband, but there were only 5 students in the class that day, and they recommended that she break up with the younger of her 2 boyfriends because one had not returned her call. Now, talking about this just a little more, Joe, the teacher called the students her munchkins. I don't know. I mean, I've taught before many times, and I may have called students munchkins. It says, and then they asked her to toilet paper the mechanics home. According to DNA information, you can't make this up now. According to DNA information, the report says that she hugged one student, ooh, and it says that she tapped another on his shoulder. Joe, she tapped one on his shoulder. And not only that, she touched the thigh of 2 other students, I believe it was. I'm losing track.
See, we've lost our minds, haven't we? Look at, in elementary schools in California, the teachers are not allowed to do full frontal hugs of children anymore. It has to be like a side hug, a pat in the head, that kind of stuff, because you don't want to get too close. But, 4th graders are 9 years old. Now, I don't know how much dating experience a 9-year-old has. I know that at 19, I didn't have that much experience, so I can only imagine what it was at 9 years old. But the part of the story that you didn't talk about was they did role playing. Okay,
yeah.
She laid out the whole process as to what she did and what they were doing.
But Joe, okay, I think we differ on this because I really think this is a stupid reason to fire this woman. I don't really have a problem if she did role playing just for a little entertainment segment when you've only got 5 students in the class that day for whatever reason, maybe it was a snow day or who knows, and you're just kind of playing. I don't know. I was not bothered by the story, and I didn't think she should have been fired for it. Warned, maybe. Fired, no.
No, okay, I'll agree with you there. Maybe not fired. I mean, in some of the other stories I read, she seems to be an upbeat, pretty good teacher. She is a substitute teacher. It's not like she's in there every day. But, 9 years old, there are other things that she could have done, or other role-playing or stories that she could have gone through to teach these kids some decent values. But dating, I don't know. I'm stuck on that one.
She says it was very G-rated. There was no mention of any kind of sex or anything like that. And I think she was just having fun with them. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it.
Have fun.
And the other thing we don't know is, was this 5 minutes of classroom talk or was this the entire hour? That's the other thing we don't know. Because if it was the whole hour, I have a problem with it. But if it was a 5-minute conversation and then during the course of teaching them English, she patted one of them on the thigh. I know in many classroom settings, I've been sitting around, Indian style in a circle with my students, and I would think, what do you think twice about tapping one of them on the shoulder or the thigh?
Yeah, none of that stuff really bothers me. We're so afraid to touch people. And I'm not a huggy, touchy person, but when it comes
especially
to
9-year-olds.
Yeah, they like to have a connection with their teachers, and I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, well, we might disagree on this next one, too. So we might set a record right here, Joe, because I'm not sure you and I have ever... I think you're going a little prudy on me, and I think I'm kind of... maybe I've been Californicated. Well, tell me it isn't so.
I don't listen to hip-hop either, but that's a story for another day.
I listen to hip-hop. A Tennessee couple wanted their 1-month-old daughter to actively participate in their wedding. So, the fact that they have the daughter after the wedding on my nerves, but it's not a deal killer. So they decided to make her the center of attention by, this is creative, you got to give them that, Joe, by attaching her to the train of the bride's dress and dragging her down the aisle. I mean, I don't know what you're going to say about this, Joe, but I kind of think it's a kind of a cool idea.
All right, look. I appreciate them wanting to have their baby there. I got all of that. But they tied the baby into the dress. And the comments from the mother, though, Jesus knows where our heart is, and we didn't hurt the baby, and everything's okay, and you guys just need to leave us alone. And I get all of that. But did you see the picture of the baby tied to the back of the dress?
I can't say that I did.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, it's behind the mother, behind the, on the train, obviously, and she's dragging her down the aisle, and not in a nasty way, but couldn't you put her in a cool little basket or bassinet and have somebody push her behind? I mean,
I watch we have weddings on our beach all the time, right behind my house, and I watch. They always have the babies. They put them in this darling little bassinet that they made like a sled just for the beach, and they slide the babies down the aisle, and they drop petals, and it's so cute. But the thing that bothers me is how many babies are in the wedding. This is something messed up with the order there. Oh, we digress. Okay.
Yeah, they got it backwards. But no, that was in California. But in California, that's perfectly. A matter of fact, it's a requirement. You have to have a baby before you can get married.
Well, and then there's the whole yearbook spread that we talked about a couple of weeks ago for all the moms and the senior photos. They did a special spread to glorify all the moms, but that's okay. I think most of our homecoming queens were in that way too, so that's okay.
Aspire to, right? There's a section to aspire to.
These are different times, I guess, Joe, and you and I are just not with the program. But at least I listen to hip hop. I've got that going for me. Cab drivers have to speak English. They can no longer speak Arabic, and their unions are up in arms about this. Joe, why should these Middle Eastern people have to speak English to drive a cab in America? Aren't you a little backward there?
Oh, God, give me, you get in the cab, and it's bad enough trying to figure out where look, you're in a city, you don't know where you are most of the time, you want somebody to take you to the right place, and here you got, I know I'm going to, never mind, here you got Guido in the car, and he can't speak a word of English.
It's not Guido. They said they were almost all Arab.
I know, I was trying to be nice about it,
but then somebody's going to criticize you anyway, and they're just going to be like, he thought the name Guido was Arabic. What an idiot, right? So I'm safe. I've got your back here.
Yeah, all right. Well, so you got Akbar in the car, and you're telling him I need to go to the park over at so and such, and he's looking at you with his shoulders up, shaking his head, and going, I don't know what a park is in Arabic. I mean, he's driving a cab on American streets in an American city. He gets paid American money. They don't pay him in shekels or anything like that. Why shouldn't he have to speak English?
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. But I will say this. I don't know that I've ever had an English-speaking cab driver in New York City. I'm just putting that out. And I do manage to get where I'm going. But I started using Uber because they're not union, and I like them better anyway. So I started using Uber in New York. And now all my cab drivers are so cool. Like I had this Austrian woman last time, and she told me this whole history about Austria that I didn't even know. It was really, really, Uber's fun. It sounds like they advertise on it. Maybe they should advertise on both of our shows, Joe. I want to get to this because the last time you were on the show, you can't make this stuff up. There was a story about a teacher who said, write down the first thing that comes to mind. I remember taking those goofy psych tests in school too, and this little kid wrote down a picture of a gun. First thing that came to his mind. I guess he was supposed to lie because he got in trouble, and I believe he even got suspended for that. New incident happens. They're out cloud gazing because that's so important that we cloud gaze while we're learning our ABCs, right? Yes, important. Yeah. And so they're out cloud gazing, and somebody said, look for designs in the cloud, and then draw a picture of what you saw. Well, this little boy, he sees a gun in the cloud. Hello, little boys see guns when they look at Barbie dolls, flowers, trees, dogs, birds. It doesn't matter. They see guns. That's what boys see. But anyway, so little boy draws a picture of a gun because that's what he sees in the cloud, and he's in trouble. 8-year-old.
Just look at an 8-year-old kid, like you just said it. You took all my thunder away. He sees it in a bowl of cereals. He sees it in this peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
There's nothing that doesn't have some kind of gun in it. And but think about something. They told him to use his imagination. Then he comes back in.
Yeah.
He uses his imagination, and now he gets punished for it. What kind of message? What kind of psyche? Play with his psyche does that do? When he does exactly what his trusted teacher told him to do.
Yeah.
And you're right. Little boys are little boys. There's no way around this. You can't reprogram them not to be little boys. Well,
and thank God for little boys. I love walking in the house and I get, Mama, I love that. I mean, that makes my whole day. It's kind of like a hug, only it's a machine gun fire. It's very cool. But I learned a new term.
You take it from where it comes from, right?
Right.
I mean, you take it from your son and you know what that means to him.
That means a hug. It's the same thing coming from him. Hopelophobia, I guess, is the new term about a fear, an irrational fear of guns. I think the whole country is cursed with this except you and me, Joe.
Yeah, I don't get any of this. You know what? I put up a picture from the 1950s of little girls and little boys that had remember little plastic guns?
Yes.
Oh, you know the garbage I got for that? Are you suggesting that we should allow kids to take guns into schools? Yes, actually, yes, I am. Little plastic toy guns that would fall apart if you squeeze them too tight. Yes, I am.
Yeah, exactly. I'd even go as
give
far
me
as
a break.
Yeah, that's just crazy. All right, this is out of the sincere world of crazy, and I have to get to it. We don't have almost any time left, but the purpose of this day, North Hill Elementary School, Rochester, Michigan, a field day. The purpose of the day, this is just from the Communist Manifesto here, only it's in the United States, is to get together for an enjoyable 2 hours of activities and provide an opportunity for students, teachers, and parents to interact cooperatively, since we believe that our children are winners. The need for athletic ability and the competitive urge to win will be kept to a minimum. The real world will be the enjoyment of good feelings and participation. Since I know you can't add anything to that, Joe, because it's perfect for the Communist Manifesto, just like it is, I have to close. I'm also happen to be out of time. But Joe, that's crazy. Thank you for bringing it to us. Thanks for joining us, as always.